Thanks for watching. If you like this video, be sure to read The Tale of the Order of the Blue Maiden. It's a high-flying adventure. Available now on Amazon, iTunes, Barnes & Nobles, and Kobo. You've never heard a tale like this. Oh, I can't believe I finally found it. The fabled Jedi Temple on Ilum, the source of all the Kyber crystals in the galaxy. Look, that Kyber crystal is shining. It's calling to me. That means that crystal is destined to go into my lightsaber. I have to get closer. I have to face my innermost fears and harvest it. I can sense the crystal through the Force. Finally, my own crystal!
Cerveza cristal. Cerveza cristal.
Today we're looking at this lighted crystal insert from the Custom Saber Shop. Notice how it doesn't say Kyber anywhere. It's just a lighted crystal insert. This is a really inexpensive little accessory. It's just $10.99. So, I mean, as far as lightsaber supplies go, that's pretty inexpensive. So it's really just a fun little thing to play around with. Take note that batteries are not included, and it requires a CR123A. And I have Surefire batteries, which are rechargeable. So, we're doing this here in my office today because I don't think I can do this without the help of my diopter lens. Let's see the package contents here. Got a lot of tiny little thingies. Here's a thingy. I don't know what this is. Oh, it's a magnet. That's right. I forgot. This is the magnet. The magnet's an important part of the circuit, I believe. So, let's just pull that magnet out of there. Oh my god. Oh wait, there's a little washer in here too. What is that? Shoot, is that part of it? I don't even know. Let's pull the magnet out of there. It's wrapped in a little plastic thingy there. Oh, okay. The washer just snapped right up to it. Alright, and then is there anything else in here? Oh, there's two magnets. Okay. There's two. Oh, wait, or is it just one magnet? Oh, no, there's two magnets. And they are very strong. They're very strong magnets. Okay, alright, well, let's just leave that there for now. What else do we have in here? We've got our housing, which I believe opens up like this. So, that there, and we have, ta-da, our crystal. And I do believe we're gonna need some glue to complete this project. So, but let's, okay, so there's a battery housing, switch cover. And inside the battery housing right now, we've got our circuit board and a little button cover. So again, I got this from the Custom Saber Shop, and on their product page there is a little video showing how to assemble this. So you don't really need to watch this video if you don't want to. You can just go to their website and watch their video. And you got these little tiny little instructions written on this, not even written, more like pictographs. These tiny little slips of paper here. Follow all safety instructions associated with adhesives. Wear safety glasses and gloves as indicated. Okay, alright. There's like little blue writing on here. I can't read this. Can you read this? See, now this is why I need the diopter lens. Look at these instructions. Can you read this? Can you see that? I cannot see that for the light. That's why I need my diopter lens here. I might have to go back and reference that video because I'm a little lost here. Alright, well let's try assembling this and see if it works. Put the cap back on the diopter lens. I'm always terrified this thing is going to set my office on fire. I mean, because of the sun, the rays of the sun here. According to this diagram, this switch... Actually, I'm going to put the button on here first. Let's take the button off real quick. Okay, that seems to fit just fine, so I don't know if we need to necessarily... Oh. Maybe not. Maybe we do need to file this. Which is a bummer, because I don't know if I have a file. Sure, Lady Sacine has one around somewhere. I don't know if it's a circuit board we need to file. I feel like it's really this that needs some filing. Oh wait, you know what? I might have had this upside down. This looks like the circuit contact, and then this looks like the LED. See, I thought this was the LED. Okay, let's try it. Let's try it this way. That actually fits a little better. Although I'm still hitting a bottleneck up here at the top. video I watched on YouTube, a video by the Custom Saber Shop, they showed that this button maybe was a little bit, too tall. So they had me a little bit paranoid now. So maybe I kind of want to trim it a little bit. So I'm trimming this button. Oh, gloves ruin everything. All right, so I'm just gonna trim this button a tiny bit here. I did manage to shave a little bit of this cap off with an X-Acto knife. I took a really steady hand and a lot of patience, which, rather short on. The instructions say that we're supposed to file this little circuit board. I'm convinced that it's already going to fit as well as it's going to, which is to say not very well. There's a little lip on there, which I think is kind of causing a little bit of a problem when it comes to the plastic housing. Of course, the housing was supposed to have been beveled already. The product video shows us that we're supposed to bevel this in order to get it to, to fit. But then the page says that these are already come beveled, that they made that modification in order to, fit the product a little better. And even so, I'm not sure it's beveled enough because there isn't quite enough room for these, not just the circuit board, but also the little transistors that are on there. So I'm wondering if that maybe isn't an issue when popping this into place. I think I'm gonna bevel that some more. Anyway, before I do that, let's glue this switch on there. I'm just gonna apply it on the tip there. Oh boy, that's exactly what I didn't want. Now this gel glue is no joke. Now, of course, with the button glued on there, it's not gonna come out of the housing anymore. The switch housing, even with the bevels on here, I think it still needs a little bit of Dremel work. So I don't really know if there's an up or down on this thing, so I'm just gonna pick a side here. I don't know how much space we're gonna need here. Let's try to get our switch plate back on there. Actually, let's clean this up first. And I don't know if we're using the right bit here. Let's use this little tapered bit here. Okay, this is a little harder than I thought it would be. So I'm not sure if I'm really doing any good here. So let's try and slip it on there and see if it works. It seems to fit a little better than it was before, so I think that's good. Although now we got little plastic chips in there. Oh no! Don't. So now we're gonna slip our cover on. Kind of an important part of this is getting all the pegs in there simultaneously, which is a little bit tricky to do. I feel like I had it in there and then I pulled it out. Okay, there we go. So we got our switch housing seated in there about as tightly and about as evenly as possible. The whole idea was to put that crystal into this Saberforge lightsaber. Not the regular saber part that I already showed you, but the extension that I'm adding here. Now this saber is roughly 15 inches long. Now this extension, which is actually a staff coupler, which I bought directly from Saberforge, has some windows in it. So I figured, hey, why not do something with that and insert some kind of element in there? And the best thing I can think of is a kyber crystal. So that's exactly what this whole project is about. Now I am a little worried because the space in there is rather limited. I am also a little bit worried because the speaker is directly inside the pommel of this saber. The problem with trying to fit this kind of long assembly with a very sharp tip point crystal at the end is that on the inside of the hilt is the speaker, and that speaker is just a very delicate little membrane there. Now, if I put this whole heavy assembly in there with a pointy crystal at the tip of it and, start swinging the saber around with several foot-pounds of pressure or, angular moments of momentum or whatever it is, whatever the applicable force is, this crystal is just going to be constantly slamming up into the speakers and probably puncture the speaker. I do not want this crystal puncturing that little membrane of the speaker. Now, while I was waiting for the camera to recover from overheating, I took this little dust cap, which comes when you buy an assembled blade from the Custom Saber Shop. It has to be an assembled blade, mind you, because, you know, I didn't realize this, but when you buy a fully assembled blade from the Custom Saber Shop, they charge you not only for the parts of the blade, but also for the dust cap and also the laser etching on the dust cap, because they put a little logo on there. And that's kind of cool, but like, that's not really cool of them to charge you for that, because you didn't ask them for that. They could just give you a blank dust cap and it really wouldn't make any difference to the customer, you know, so that's kind of a little upcharge that they sneak in there for you. So that's why I started buying just the parts. This dust cap turned out to be just the right size to fit into this staff coupler. So what I did is I took this blade cap and I shoved it into this coupler here, and that is going to serve the purpose of shielding the speaker, you know, from that point. Okay, so initially I hadn't punched holes in this, all right? Now initially I took the dust cap and I just popped it in there, and it takes some doing because it doesn't quite fit. You know, this wants to fit on the outside of the blade, not on the inside of a chassis. I jammed that in there, and then the second I attach this to the hilt, okay, now that creates a problem, and I bet you can guess what the problem is, okay?
Prodigal son.
Okay, actually, it didn't sound too bad. Anyway, when I did it initially, it sounded terrible. It was really muffled. Now, listen to the difference. So now you can see that sounds a lot louder now that that thing isn't in there. Okay, can you hear the difference? The speaker vibrates, and the vibrations move the air, and the waves move through the air to our ears and to our eardrums. That's how sound works, okay? So the speaker needs access to air in order to make the sound. So if you plug this up, you see you can't hear it anymore now. So anyway, that's the reason I decided to punch holes in this cap. So what I did is I went with my leather punch, I went ahead and punched some holes in there. And I punched them around the edges. I didn't want one in the middle because that would have defeated the purpose. But I punched them around the edges so that the vibrations could travel through the holes and out through the, you know, the windows in the chamber here. It's in there very snugly. I thought I might need some glue, but it turns out I don't really think I need any glue because this is really a very snug fit there. I don't want this little muffin top poking out either because I don't want it interfering with my speaker. So I gotta kind of push it down just a touch. So now we turn this on. There. Hear how loud that is? Now it's even louder than it was before. I don't know how that's possible, but anyway, so the sound is traveling through there just fine. So we know we haven't stuffed up our speakers. All right, so now that I've determined a way to keep that in place, we can glue that thing together now, because I was holding off on gluing that together because I wasn't sure how I was going to keep it from puncturing the speaker. Now, truthfully, I mean, there's still other ways. If I thought of maybe using one of those little wire baskets that you get from champagne bottles, you know, so you know, or something like that, in order to suspend the crystal inside the coupler there. Putting together this assembly should be pretty straightforward. First thing we're going to do is we're going to grab the cap of the little housing unit of the battery housing. All right, we're going to grab the washer from before, and we're just going to take that and pop it in there. There's a little hole that's exactly the size of the washer, although it's a little son of a gun. It's a little stubborn, and of course now it's stuck to the magnet. So watch out for that because that magnet is very powerful. So okay, now it's in the little hole there. See, all right? Now this is tricky too. I'm gonna get one of these magnets, all right, and pop it into that same hole. Oh, but now it pulled up the washer. You know you've done this more or less correctly when the magnet is sitting inside the little hole in the cap, all right? Next thing, the other magnet goes on the other side. Now this magnet might resist you a little bit because magnets might have opposite polarity. So if it's resisting you a lot, try flipping it over, and then it should be easier to seat there in the hole. Now what's weird is that this magnet doesn't quite fit exactly in the hole, but it fits close enough. You'll know it's right when it's, you know, in the center. All right, the next thing is to put the battery in there, and of course, this is the Surefire CR123A 3.2 volt battery. And Surefire is the brand. You don't have to get a Surefire one. There are other manufacturers. But you do need this particular kind of battery in order to fit the device. I believe this battery is used primarily for like camera equipment and, you know, small electronic devices. This is kind of a specialty battery. So you just take your assembled cap, and you pop the battery in there, and the magnet will hold it in place. And, you know, once that magnet's in there correctly, everything holds together nice and tight, nice and snug, so it doesn't fall apart all that easily. So next, you just take your aluminum housing here, and then you screw your cap into it. And I don't think it matters which side you screw it in, because I think they're both the same. And that just kind of fits in there like a lipstick. Alright, take care not to knock your battery out of place. See, I nudged it just a little bit, but it's okay. You just pop it back into place pretty easily. Then, you take your switch housing, and you screw it in the other end. And this is pretty easy. I mean, you can figure this stuff out yourself. You don't need me for that. And finally, you just put your plastic sleeve, and then you just slip on there, and this doesn't really have an orientation. And the sleeve is really just there for protection, so, you know, I figure if I want to stick it into something like some kind of chassis, you know, maybe I'll remove this and leave it off. And then you just press the button, and it should come on, see? Cool, huh? And the device is working, and you see it's emitting light. And on top it's got these really cool cyclical LEDs, alright? And this one button basically controls everything. So it's shining blue right now, you press it once, and now it's shining red. Alright? Press it again, and now it's shining green. I have noticed that this button can get a little random sometimes, so you'll mean to press it. Oh, see, I pressed it a fourth time and it turns off. But I have noticed that sometimes I'll press it, and see, now it's green. And then you press it again, and it shut off. And press it again, it's green again. So if you don't get the desired result, just keep pressing it until you get what you want. See, now it's blue, and it turned red really fast and then shut off. So I'm not sure why that is. Seems that maybe there's something about the circuitry is not quite right. But, I mean, for our purposes, it's fine, right? Just keep pressing the button until you get the color you want. Yeah, I got red. And then press it until it turns off. Alright, so now that this is assembled, we can glue our crystal in there. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and affix my Gorilla Glue here. I like this gel glue a lot because it's very flexible. You know, I use it for padding and foam. I use it in my helmet. It's really great. And it's no joke, it dries very quickly. I learned that the hard way the other day, and I got some on my fingertips. I think this is a good application for this glue because this is a situation where this object is going to be constantly subject to vibrations and movements. So I think this is a good place to use it. I kind of want to spread this around a little bit. Oh, now my glove. See, my glove is glued to the thing now. Oh boy. Okay. See. Okay, that was a mistake. That was my fault. That was my fault. Oh no. What have I done? Now I'm gluing pieces of my glove to this blade assembly now. That's how quickly this glue dries. I gotta deal with that now. Okay. Oh boy. Oh boy. Uh-oh. Okay. Stop touching it. I basically had to, you know, scrape that off with an X-Acto knife or other metal implement. And, you know, I had to basically mar the housing and also mar the crystal, which is very upsetting. I'm very upset about that. Luckily, when the lights are on, it's not very noticeable. We got that in place. So now we want to pop that in there where the button is accessible in the front. Oh, okay, see, there's a problem there. Placement's not ideal. It's pushing the crystal back in a direction we don't want it pushed. So we put our pommel in there. Now we just need maybe a little implement in order to push the button. There we go, see? Boom! And now we got a crystal in our hilt. And now it's nice and in place so it's not messing with our speaker. See? Cool, huh? Alright guys, if you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe and smash that bell. And don't forget our motto, no lupsujire, don't be afraid to suck. And I'll see you on the battlefield. I qualify that as Neato Burrito. Neato Burrito indeed.